As many of you know, I have pulled a brand new mythical champion, one other than Aphodus. We've been doing a lot of Aphodus content lately, and that is Frolni the Mechanist, guys. So today we are going to go and do a damage test to see if this guy is really any good. Now, on his A1, he attacks one enemy, will ignore 5% of the target's defense for each buff on this champion. So for buff heavy fights, this is a fantastic skill, right? Absolutely fantastic skill, and it does hit decently hard. We'll get to that in a bit. All right, on the A2, attacks one enemy, steals 2 buffs from a target enemy. This effect cannot be resisted. If this attack is critical, repeats the attack once. So potentially he's stealing up to 4 buffs on his A2. Damage is based on HP on both the A1 and the A2 and the A3, so he is an HP based champion. And then of course he can repeat the attack, which is always good. On his A3, exterminate the weak, attacks all enemies. Damage of this skill increases by 30% if this champion's max HP is higher than each target's max HP. Now I do believe that this has to be as long as he has the most max HP out of anybody on the enemy team. So I think he has to increase his max HP by, or you have to in his build, increase his max HP by more than everybody else on the enemy team in order to get that 30% damage boost, which is kind of strange. His passive is very interesting. This champion's crit damage is increased by 1% for every 1000 HP they have. Increases the champion's max HP by 20%, stacks up to 100%, and speed by 20 stacks up to 100. Whenever this champion kills an enemy, resets each round. Now, this is a very, very, very strong passive, especially in Arena, which is where Form 1 really shines. So he's going to get extra crit damage, but he's also going to ramp his max HP and get faster whenever he kills somebody. It's unfortunate that it resets each round. I don't really see why it has to reset each round. I don't think it would be game breaking if they just deleted that part of the passive, but that's how they have decided to do it, and so that's what we have to work with. Hey you, stop right there. Click the link in the description below to get a free Corrado, as well as Fane, Ugo, and Vergus as you level up your account in Raid. Here's exactly how to do it. Log out of Flareon Play on PC and uninstall. Click the link in the description below and register with a brand new email. Log in and complete the tutorial. You'll find Corrado in your inbox, as well as Fane, Ugo, and Vergus as you level up. If you're looking for a great start in Raid, this is your chance. Make sure you get your free Corrado as well as 3 free epics by clicking my link right away. So Form 1, very Arena oriented. This irresistible buff seal, very Arena oriented, as well as the ignore defense per buff and the 30% damage increase if he has the highest max HP. Now, Form 2 is very interesting. I don't like Form 2 personally. It doesn't hit very hard, and it's an ally protector, and we'll get to why that's a problem in just a second. Arcs of Pain attacks one enemy 2 times on the A1 here. Each hit increases the champion's defense by 5%, stacks up to 100%. Then on the A2, Pulverizing Procedure attacks one enemy, heals this champion by 50% of their max HP, balances the HP of all allies. The HP levels of all allies will be brought up to the level of the ally with the highest HP. Then the Engine of War A3 places a 50% ally protection buff on all allies except the champion for 2 turns, also places an unkillable buff on this champion for 2 turns. Then places a shield buff for 2 turns on all allies with less than 50% HP. The value of the shield is proportional to this champion's defense. And then he has a passive here, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Encircled plate, something like that. When attacked, reflects 80% of the damage this champion receives back to the attacker. Debuffs placed on this champion decrease their producer's accuracy by 10%, stacks up to 50%. So you have to build him for one form or the other, and the reason for that is because of this ally protection skill. Ally protection scales off of your own crit damage, so the more crit damage you have, the more damage that the champion casting the ally protection will take from the buff. So if you want to use Form 1, Form 1 is very much damage oriented, but you can't use that same strategy for Form 2. 1, he's not going to convert his HP to defense. So some mythical champions that are different types convert their stats. He doesn't convert his stats. So he's not going to have nearly as much defense. His damage is based on defense. And yeah, he's just kind of weird to use because of that ally protection. This is an all right skill. The Pulverizing Procedure he's got a 50% heal, which is always nice, especially since he's going to be tanky. Balances the HP levels of all allies. The HP levels of all allies are brought to the level of the ally with the highest HP. That's an okay skill, but this A3 here is it's kind of odd. As you can see, I haven't put any books into either form, but mainly today we're doing a damage test. So we are going to be testing out the damage of the first form. As far as masteries went, first form, we built the first form for Arena. So we went down, we picked up Helm Smasher for an extra 50% chance of ignoring defense. We also went Whirlwind of Death. We're going to stack that passive, right? So we're going to want more speed, and we're going to get an extra 18 speed when he kills people, as well as the counterattack mastery. So deterrence, 20% chance to counterattack an enemy when they apply a stun, sleep, fear, true fear, freeze, petrification, or sheep debuff on an ally on a 1-turn cooldown, as well as retribution, 50% chance to counterattack when this champion loses 25% of their max HP or more from a single enemy skill. So we grab the counterattack masteries in order to be able to do that. Helm Smasher, Kill Streak. You know, we probably could have gone and picked up Methodical as well. Increases the damage inflicted by this champion's default skill by 2% each time it is used during a battle. Stacks across each round in a battle up to 10%. So we probably should have taken Methodical, but I wanted Whirlwind of Death, and Wrath of the Slain and Bring It Down didn't seem to be as important. So we missed out on Methodical there for his masters. All right, let's take him into Doom Tower. Let's see what exactly this guy can do. So let's see. Doom Tower. All right, floor 1. We're going to have this squad here. So it's going to be Esme, Queen, Frolni, Arbiter, the general damage people, because I don't yet have my Lydia, and I'm kicking myself because I made a stupid mistake about it. All right, so we're going to go in and drop defense on everybody, weaken on everybody. Well, weaken on most of them anyways. All right, here we go. On the AoE, his max HP is probably not higher than everybody's. Here we go. What kind of numbers are we looking at? We are looking at 100 to 60 something K. And that's not bad. That's not bad at all. So that's the AoE. Of course, we're gonna damage test his second form with the build that I have him in, and I will show the build at the end of the video. All right, we're gonna go in and we're gonna boost up just to make sure that we actually get a turn. There is the drop defense. There is the weaken. All right, so we got weaken on everybody. Here is the A2. Now let's go against a rather tanky champion. The Steel Skull here is a bit tanky. Blood Larceny, hitting for 95k. So that was only one hit. We did completely take out the Steel Skull, which is very good. All right, and then finally, we're going to look at the A1. See what the A1 does, and then we're gonna have to switch over to second form and do a damage test for that. Let's see here. So A1, let's go against a target that has both the drop defense and the weaken, like the Galcut here. So we go A1, 56k on the A1. Again, we'll go over the build at the end of the video. All right, so now second form. Again, we have him built for his HP based form, right, which I think is the more useful of the two forms. So with drop defense and weaken, let's see, we have no AoEs here. We just have the A1 and the A2 that are going to hit. So here we go. Here's the A2, 38k. So that's not great, right? That's not great considering the numbers that we were getting in the first form. Let's see what else we can do with the A1. But yeah, I don't have high hopes for that A1. It doesn't seem to be doing too much damage. All right, here we go. So for the A1, let's also go against, well, let's go against the same guy. So for the A1, 10, 13k per hit. That's really not good, guys. That's really not good. So definitely much better in the first form. The second form doesn't even give you much utility, right? So for Arena though, right? I think that's where we're gonna use him the most. The team that I have found, not Armand's. Armand's doesn't work as well with Frolni, but Lady Kimi does. So the team that I found that's best on my account is Arbiter, Lady Kimi, Padraig, and Frolni. So what you have to do is, because Frolni has a terrible AI, we have to turn off his Metamorph, and we probably want to open with either the A1 or the A2. I can go ahead and manual this first one so that we can actually see what he's doing. But then again, this is without the debuffs or anything like that. So we boost, we're going to boost again, and then we boost a third time. And then the purpose of Kimi is not only to boost us a third time because he is a little slow, but he also will strip buffs if we need to. So we'll boost again with Arbiter. All right, so here's the A3. We are getting the damage boost. 36, 70, 90k. That's not bad. That's really not bad. It didn't look, then 52k there from the ally attack. It didn't look like that was a particularly tanky squad. This is a far more tanky squad. So we can go ahead against this team. We do have a go first strategy. They have more of a go second strategy. Let's see what we can do. So we're going to go ahead and boost up with Arbiter again. We're going to boost up with Padraig again. We are going to try to strip the stone skin with Kimi. We do end up stripping the stone skin. That is very good. Then we're going to go ahead and A3, exterminate the weak. We're not killing anyone. And see, that's the problem that I have with Frolni, right? He's such an arena focused form, but he doesn't, with the AoE, he's not really killing anyone. And that is a problem to me. Like, we didn't kill anyone with the A1 there. We did manage to wipe the entire team last time, but you know, again, against these tankier teams, I'm not seeing, you know, what's going on here. They still can't get back around and attack and destroy the Hefrak, unfortunately. So we may take an L here. We'll see. Yeah, we took an L. But, like, against those tanky teams, someone like the Cat is going to do a lot better. But, you know, I mean, that's just kind of how it is. Let's do one live arena fight and see exactly what he's doing there. My Frolni does not hit hard in arena, and I'm not entirely sure why. Again, we're going to get to the build right after this fight. So I'm going to go ahead and pick first. I'm going to pick Arbiter because I want to go first here. Frolni is a little on the slower side, a lot on the slower side, especially for, you know, where I usually build champs. So we're gonna want to go first, and so we're gonna pick Padraig. We'll also try to pick Kimi. We'll see. Yeah, we'll also try to pick Kimi. I got a comment. If you're watching this video, commenter, about using Kimi, I absolutely agree. I think you're right. But we'll try to just replicate that team that I was using in... Ooh, we could ban Tormund. We could ban Rhodos. Ooh, that's hard. I'm going to ban Tormund. He's a bit more of a threat. They banned the Wukong. Okay. So we're now we get to see, you know, we can't one-shot Rhodos, unfortunately, but we will see what we can do. Here we go. All right, so we do get to go first. That's great. It's literally the exact same team that we were using in regular arena. We boost 3 times. Let's see. Yeah, bam. We didn't get to remove the stone skin, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blood larceny into the Armons. Now, we can kill stuff with blood larceny, which is great. That's really good, actually. I'm going to ally attack. I could ally attack Rhodos, or I could ally attack Sifi. I think Rhodos is a bigger threat. And now Rhodos can't be one-shot, so we're just hoping to use up that passive, right? So now Rhodos gets a turn. Can he kill Frolni? That is the question, because we have no reviver if he tries to. He does. And so we're kind of toast here. Now, as you can see, that A2 is hitting hard. That A2 I really like. It's very useful as a skill, and in my opinion, it is indeed the best part of his kit. Again, attacks one enemy, steals 2 buffs from the target enemy, cannot be resisted. If the attack is critical, repeats the attack once. All right, so now for the rest of his build so that you can see what kind of stats we were working with there. For his relic, we have the Malefic Talon. Now, the Malefic Talon is really good for him because it's giving him extra crit damage and extra HP. Why don't you want something like the Cat's Gaze? So for Affidus, we have the Cat's Gaze on him. And the reason you don't want the Cat's Gaze is because Wear ignores 10% of the target's defense when attacking enemies with higher max HP. Frolni is an HP-based nuker, and he's mostly for the arena, so nobody's gonna have higher max HP than him most of the time, except maybe other HP-based champions. So we've got extra crit damage, and we've got extra HP coming in from the Malefic Talon. But we also have this gemstone that increases the wearer's crit damage by 3% for each debuff they are under, up to 30%. Let's see. Then for his build, okay, so we have lethal. So everything that we have seen was with lethal and Helm Smasher, so potentially ignoring 50% of the target's defense. We have lethal, we have crit damage gloves, HP percent chestplate, speed on the boots, and then, you know, just regular, trying to get as much HP, as much crit rate, as much crit damage as we possibly can. And then we have pinpoint with a piece of protection as well. So for his stats, we are working with 83.5k HP, 2.4k defense, 212 speed, 100% crit rate, 280 crit damage. And then he does not need accuracy because his effects can't be resisted. So that's the stats we were working with. And for those stats, I think the damage is a little underwhelming. Not gonna lie. I think the damage is a little underwhelming. I've compared with some other Frolni builds that are similar. For whatever reason, mine doesn't hit as hard. I'm not sure if it's a mastery thing, if it's a booking thing, or what, but I think Frolni is usable. I don't think he's better. I actually think Affidus is better. The only reason that Affidus is worse for Arena is because he's not tanky, but he does hit harder than Frolni does. Also, this can be resisted. Frolni can't be. So Frolni has the buff steal. Again, that can't be resisted. It hits hard, and that is my favorite part of his kit. Guys, do you have a Frolni the Mechanist? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what I'm missing on mine, if there's anything. I think his damage is a little underwhelming personally, but we will see. Guys, I've been Felrus, sailing the seas of Raid Shadow Legends, and I will see you in another video.